Layer styles are a quick and easy way to apply special effects to a layer in a non-destructive way. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take some text, we're going to apply some layer styles to this text. Again, if you're using the exercise files here, your fonts might be a little bit different, but you can substitute whatever font you have instead of the ones that I use. And also for layer styles, it doesn't really matter. You could apply layer styles to those sample layers from these exercise files as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Innovate layer. And the way that we apply layer styles, well, there's a couple ways. We can actually go down to the bottom of the layers panel. There's a little effects icon, and we can choose one of the layer style effects here. But the easiest way is if we go to the right of the name of a layer, there's a blank spot here. If we double click that, it will open the layer style dialog box. Now, we have to be careful here. There's a lot going on in this little area. If we double click the layer thumbnail, we will select the layer. Just hit escape to cancel out of that. If we double click the name of the layer, we will be able to rename the layer. And then if we double click to the right of the name of the layer, then we'll open up the layer style dialog box. Now here's the way this works. We have some master controls, some blending controls right here that we're not going to get into. But on the left-hand side, for each of these effects listed, there's actually two options. There's a checkbox to turn the effect on and off. So let's say, for example, bevel and emboss, which gives us a quick fake 3D look. The checkbox turns that on and off. But if we don't like the settings for the bevel and emboss, and we actually want to adjust the bevel and emboss, then we need to click the words bevel and emboss. That changes the right side of the panel, and then we can adjust the bevel and emboss. And same thing with all of these. With the stroke, we could turn it on and off, but if we want to actually adjust the stroke, we click the word stroke, and then we could change the color of the stroke, the size of the stroke. Basically, that's just the outline going around the object. So we could add shadows and glows and overlays and all kinds of things. For this exercise, I actually want to do a couple different things. I'm going to take off bevel and emboss, and I want to turn on gradient overlay. I find myself using gradient overlay all the time. So I'm going to click on gradient overlay, and by default, the gradient is black to white. I don't really need it black to white, although I could click the swatch for the gradient, and then I could double click one of these color stops, either the black or the white, to change its color. I'm just going to go ahead and click cancel, or I could choose one of the presets here. Just going to click cancel because I don't want to do that right now. What I want to do is I want to use this black and white gradient, but I want it to blend into the existing colors that I have. So I'm going to change the blend mode from normal to overlay, and this is going to change the way that the gradient interacts with my original blue layer. So I click overlay, and there we have it. So we get this cool little glowing blue, bright blue to dark blue gradient. And if we want to tone that down a little bit, maybe take that down to soft light. So it's a little bit more subtle, but still a cool gradient effect. And we could compare the before and after by clicking the check mark. So there's all one flat color, and then with gradient overlay, we have a little bit brighter on top and a little bit darker on the bottom. Little subtle gradients like this often just add a lot of dimension and just a beautiful look that's felt more than seen, but it still adds a lot. Satin is a weird one, and just to explain that really quick, it kind of adds this really weird internal shadowing effect. And it's good for applying randomness. We might want to take down the opacity. We might want to adjust the size a little bit. But if we play with this just right, we can get, again, a really interesting organic randomness to the shadows inside of our text. It doesn't work for this project, but something to be aware of. I'm actually going to go ahead and add an outer glow, which is towards the bottom here. Turn this on. And we have the color swatch that it's using on the right-hand side. So I'm going to click this yellow, the default yellow color. And I'm going to go and click the green area over here from the graphic part of our image. We can click OK. And we could increase the spread size. And we could add a green glow that matches that part of the image. Now that I'm looking at this, I realize this is not very pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and click the green swatch and just go ahead and click all the way up in the upper left-hand corner. Take this to white, and we can adjust the size after that. Just a little bit of glow, or a lot of glow, depending on what you want. Or we could do a lot of glow and then take the opacity down if we wanted to go in that direction. Either way, this is going to make the text pop out just a little bit more. I'm actually going to take that back up in the size, back down. Just a little bit of outer glow, and there we have it. And if at any time after applying layer styles I want to change things, I can click the eye for the effects in the layers panel. That will remove the visibility of all effects, or I could selectively just turn off the eye for the outer glow, for example, or the gradient overlay, whichever one I prefer, and get rid of that. And if at any point I want to delete these effects, not just have them be invisible, but get rid of them entirely, I can click and drag this effects icon to the trash can. So layer styles are a great non-destructive way to quickly and easily add special effects to not just text layers, but any kind of layer at all.